Hello and welcome to the third Omnia Podcast. Today we're going to be featuring Ardino, Michael, Pasolino, Carrie, and Windows 10. So a few events that's been happening in the past few months since the last podcast is Ardino has achieved a general rank in the clan. He's now part of the Gen team. Welcome Ardino and congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, and another thing we have planned for the incoming months here is you'll see on the screen we have a picture of a May Madness EHP comp that we're going to be doing in May. And all the descriptions are going to be on the screen right here. And I'm also going to be posting a link in the chat in just a second to the Google Forms where you can submit your team for this competition. And the rules of this competition are going to be, it's going to be starting roughly around May 6th, and the date it will end is still to be determined. And all the rules here are not set in stone yet, so if you have any suggestions, there is also a box in the submission form where you can add any kind of suggestions you want to add to see, to get us the best format and the best kind of rule set so that everybody's happy with the competition. It's going to be starting roughly around 2 p.m. EST for every comp, and it's open to anybody that wants to join. It's going to be teams of 3, and the teams are going to start by competing in a week competition that determines their seeds. And then from there, the teams are going to be seeded based on how they perform in that, and then they'll be placed into a double elimination bracket based on those seeds. And then each round of after that is going to be 3 days long. And there'll be a day in between each round to give people a little break and also time to do a 6-hour log. So the rules are going to be 6-hour logs are allowed, over EHP methods will be scaled, and Nightmare Zone EHP will be capped at 2 EHP per day. So if, for the 3-day comp, for example, you're allowed 6 EHP from Nightmare Zone in total. And obviously this can be changed if people feel it'd be better in some other kind of form. And then also no sword XP is going to be allowed. Alright, and moving on from that, we also have some rec changes for the clan coming soon on March 30th. We're going to be changing the clan requirements to top 1k EHP for Smileys, which is definitely the biggest change out of the changes. And exceptions will be shown for those showing consistency in their gains, and we'll make exceptions accordingly. Also going to be top 500 EHP for Recruit, top 300 for Corporal, top 150 for Sergeant, and top 75 for Lieutenant, and top 30 for a Captain rank in Omnia. So those will be affecting all the current ranks right now, and also anybody that's looking to join in the future. But besides that, that's about it for our announcements the past few months. Clan's been doing well overall. Happy with where we're at. And my name's Avatar Evan, currently rune crafting. I'm thinking about going for 100 mil right now, and I am a general in Omnia.
I'm Ardino, ranked in AHP, leader of Omnia, and in the future top 5 overall.
Hi, I'm Mikael, and I'm Bronze Star in Omnia.
Hello, I'm Glenn or Pasolino. I'm a Bronze Star in Omnia.
Hi, I'm Carrie or 99, and I'm going for rank 11 mining.
Hello, I am Windows 10. I'm a sergeant in Omnia, and I'm Portuguese.
All right. So the first question is going to be, what have you done? What have you done to make yourself stay consistent and keep the consistency going, and also like sitting for long periods of time, etc. One thing that helps me a lot with staying consistent and being able to like sit down and play for long periods is definitely just doing stuff on the side. Like pretty much ever since the beginning of old school, I've always been playing like an account on the side usually. So like it's really hard for me just to sit down and play one account nowadays. It's usually I'm playing another account on the side or another account for fun. And then also I play other games like I play Hearthstone and some poker every now and then as well to keep me interested.
For me, it's mostly the shows and movies. I watch a heap of them. And also, yeah, I have a second account, which is currently a wyvern farming account, if that's what you could call it. That's what I do on the side when I get bored. But I watch like a lot of TV shows and movies, sometimes a little bit of Twitch or a little bit of YouTube as Duel. That keeps me motivated.
I usually, when I do some gatherers, I just watch movies and series like pretty much everyone else and listen to music. And when I do roofs or anything else really relaxing, I just play alts.
I was gonna say for me, it's like talking on TeamSpeak with people. That's the biggest motivator for me to be around other people.
Yeah, for me, it's mainly Netflix. I watch a lot of Netflix when I'm playing. Also, in terms of sitting for longer periods, I've recently bought a footrest because I was having a few issues with my back. So I thought that the footrest would be a nice addition. So I'd have a more ergonomic posture. And also, unfortunately, I am a smoker, so every now and then I have to take a quick break, so I don't really sit down for the whole day.
I mostly just listen to music and talk to people on TS, and it also helps that I have a €400 gaming chair or race car, so it makes things quite a lot easier.
I was looking into those recently, and like after this one like breaks down, essentially I was looking into getting one of the like off-brand ones. I saw one that had like really good reviews that was like $150. Anyway, so after you guys quit RS, do you think you'll regret your time spent on the game?
No, because I would have just played some other game probably had it not been RS. So
Yeah, no, that's the same for me. Before RuneScape, I was addicted to Tribal Wars and Call of Duty. If I would not be playing RuneScape right now, I would be really into another game. So,
Yeah.
no, I will not feel bad when I quit.
Yeah, definitely not. Maybe like some evenings when I should have been studying and I just played. Maybe those evenings I'll regret, but nothing else.
I totally agree. Everybody?
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
the
for me it's a no as well. I think this is just a game, and if we weren't playing this game, I would be playing just another game.
Yeah, one of the arguments like a lot of people like to make is like, oh, if you spent those 10,000 hours at a job, you'd make $100,000 or something crazy. But
yeah, but then again, you can only work so many hours a
exactly.
day. You can't really work for 16 hours a day
yeah,
or whatever.
it's definitely not a comparable
indeed.
argument at all. But like I'm
That's
sure
why
I could spend some of my time like with more productive stuff like studying and learning other things that could be more productive long term, but overall I have all my priorities straight, I think. So like me playing in my free time is perfectly fine. Alright, so how would you guys play and view the game if CML never existed?
I would play way less, that's for sure, and I would also like AFK more and just like be a lazy player.
I'd probably. Go ahead.
For me
probably
personally, no,
Just
go
go.
ahead. Go.
wouldn't. I wouldn't play at all.
Really?
Really? Damn.
Probably. If there wasn't like any alternative site, like there was pre-AOC alternative sites, but without any XP tracking sites, I probably wouldn't play.
Well, for me, I do like the fact that there's CML exists, but since I'm a very XP-oriented player, I think I would be playing the exact same way, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'd AFK a lot more, because like the way I look at it is like as long as you're making progress towards something, like you're still achieving that like feeling. So like if there was no CML to see how much progress I'm making a week, I would still feel like I'm progressing at a pretty good pace. I feel like, I don't know.
For me personally, would not affect my playing style that much. I mean, like, I use Crystal Mad Labs, I love the site, I love to track my HP gains and my rank, but it's more about the XP for me.
I was gonna
It's the
say
same
that
for me.
I'd probably just be PVMing still, and I wouldn't have picked up skilling again.
Alright, and which players inspired you to get into skilling? For me, I would say I got into skilling way back in pre-EOC, and I used to always like look up to people that were all about efficiency and everything, and I always tried to replicate that, except I thought I was good. I thought I was like a pretty efficient player, and I knew what I was doing, except I was terrible at it. Because like my version of efficiency is looking up a 1 to 99 video and just following that, and I'm being efficient when most of them were terrible. And it all started, I would say, back with Alkin's videos. He was a high-level player, and I always looked up to him and kind of followed some of the stuff he did as well, and he definitely was one of the main people that got me into skilling.
I kind of have like same kind of story. I started playing more efficiently in pre-OC, like 2011, 2012, and back then I watched Foot actually made a lot of efficient videos back then, so I would say Foot.
Well, I've always been like a skiller guy, but Aubrey, or Autumn Elegy, he's probably the most influential player for me. He got me into like efficient skilling.
I was
watching his videos.
Same. Definitely Aubrey, and I think Omar kind of talked me up to doing skilling. I don't know.
Well, for me, it was a bit different. After I maxed, I wasn't thinking about going for post-max skilling, so I started doing some PVM and watching Twitch streams. And at some point, I got to Rigandol stream, and I saw that he was part of Omnia. So a few days later, I just decided that I wanted to go for Omnia Rex, and then I decided that I wanted to go for 200 mil skills. I wouldn't say that's really an inspiration, but it was what made me decide to start post-max skilling.
For me, it's not really one person or a few persons, it's like the entire LHC. Like, everyone I came across with on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, they all motivated me. I was like, I want to be like those guys, I want to get a high rank, I want to join a good skilling clan. So it's not a few persons for me, it's like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me in old school at least, I started off my first ever like when I started like going for max, I started with smithing, and I was doing blast furnace gold back when there were the clans you needed. And what I used to do was I would join the clan whenever there were games running, and then in between games I would sit at the bank there and I would do like herb lore crafting and work on that. And I was in like Relentless, they're not around anymore, but that was the skilling clan I was in. And then from there they disbanded and eventually joined Solus. I remember with like Clutchy and Wise Up and all of them.
I remember that.
Yep. Yeah, I joined them, and I didn't even have the Rex at the time for Smiley, but I was probably gaining like maybe 40 EHP a week, and they made an exception for me because I was making decent progress. Oh yeah, Jebram as well. Jebram definitely influenced me in old school, I would say. Alright, so what are your thoughts on the new Omnia Rex that are coming next week?
Oh, rest in peace, my bronze star, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I'm also losing a rank, temporarily.
I'm a big fan of it because it's gonna give me something to work towards. I don't know.
Yeah, good changes.
It's definitely good to make things more competitive, and we are like supposed to be the, I don't know, the #1 skilling clan, so the rec should be quite high. And like the old requirements, especially the Smiley requirement, was a bit of a joke, to be honest. So it's good that it's changing, and hopefully it will motivate people to play a bit more, or at least play a bit more efficiently.
Yeah, I think that the old Smiley requirement, it allowed people to just get the requirement and then stop doing consistent games. So they would just do it so they could be in a HLC clan, and then they would be done.
Yeah,
well, I think it's a good thing. Although I will lose a rank, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I particularly like the Smiley rec. That it like really pushes people to like by the time they get the smiley rec, they're already kind of like in the mindset of being a skiller, and they know what's going on. They have a pretty good idea what's going on, and it will pretty much it'll assure us more that they're going to continue making more gains because they've already made a good amount in the past. Yeah, I definitely like it overall, and I think the clan is looking forward to them as well.
And it's also a good opportunity to get rid of some flatliners. So I like that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and what are your thoughts on the proposed Artie Knight fix, which is the new coin bags being added to your inventory instead of just the coins? Then you can right-click. I think it's right-click withdraw all or whatever from all the coin bags, and they just go into your cash stack. So that way you can only thieve at most like 27 times in a row from an Artie Knight.
Yeah, what they proposed in this dev block, it's not really good in my opinion. Like, I can get that you wanna put something in the game to make it harder for auto clickers, but like this, you are screwing over a lot of people that are just doing Ardenoids with their hands or their feet. I don't even care. If you have to click your mouse every 27 times, that's like 30 seconds. It's not AFK at all anymore. It's a good thing that they want to take on the auto clickers. I love that, but they should change it a little bit. Like make it so that not every thief you get a sack, or that you get a sack every 5 thieves, like the money pouches. I mean, like that it would not be every 27 clicks, but every like 150 or 200 clicks. That would be like a minute or two to AFK.
I think this change is wonderful if it goes through. If you ask me, they should just remove the alternates.
100% agree with that.
Same. It's a shitty method. I mean, I understand why people do it. I mean, it makes sense to do it, but they're really shitty, and I wish they weren't in the game. So the change is definitely good, and make plunder again. Hashtag.
Yeah,
For me, I think I would be kind of a hypocrite if I said that I wanted to remove knights because I'm already 200 mil thieving. But in general, I think it's a good idea to somewhat try to stop auto clickers, because especially when I was doing 200 mil thieving, I used to see a lot of auto clickers, and especially when we were like trying to reset the splasher or something like that, it was just a pain in the ass because they were just auto clicking, I guess. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Maybe they could tweak it a little bit so it would still remain somewhat AFK. But yeah, removing chances for people to auto click, I think it's a good thing. And if people
I don't think just go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Continue. I don't think the auto-clicking is really the issue. The method itself is just stupid, that you can just click on one spot.
Yeah.
Pretty much do
And gain almost max rates.
If they were gonna leave it like that, they should just reduce the XP or just remove it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, if they end up nerfing it too much and people are unhappy with it, they can just do pyramid plunder or blackjacking or whatever they want.
Or swim.
Or that, yeah, of course.
Yeah, nice.
Why not?
Yeah, I think the content itself is just like terrible content, but like me personally, I am a bit disappointed that it's gonna get nerfed. It was kind of expected, but like I still have like 90 mil thieving to go roughly. So I was planning on zero timing all that through nights just on my phone. So I'm a bit disappointed I won't be able to do that, but at the same time, it'll give me a good excuse to do Pyramid Plunder, which I absolutely love. Pyramid Plunder, I think it's a great piece of content. So I like that more people will be doing that, and it will become a pretty active minigame again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it will be nice to do some with Plunder again. I haven't done it for ages. It's been like at least 5 years since I've done Pyramid Plunder.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably the same for me.
I think I did Plunder for around a month, and it was so much fun doing it with other people. Just the like little Plunder community you'd get where you'd have like teams of like 2 to 4 people usually, and it was just a lot of fun. But I ended up stopped doing it mainly because I just felt like I was wasting my time at the same time, because I could be gaining that through just tapping on my phone while in class, and it's kind of hard to justify doing it at the computer when I can do it other ways. But now I won't be able to make that excuse anymore. Alright, so Name your top 3 favorite skillers and why.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
Is this like killers at the moment or like all-time favorites?
You can take it however you'd like. If you at the moment, all time, just the way they play, the overall progress they make, however kind of classification you want to put it on.
Well, I would say probably Suomi from pre-EOC. He was big motivation for me back then to start skilling. And old trance music, when I came back to old school
Oh yeah.
in 2014, he was going pretty hard. He was good. And maybe like nowadays, maybe Ardinio.
Yeah, for me, I tried to name the top 3 based on a reason. So Ardinio, I would say that he's the most consistent player when it comes to the HP games. My second favorite would be Mats, because he's a player that, despite being unable to put in fat weeks or fat months because he works full time, he's just very consistent throughout the years, and that also counts for me. And also, I very much like Omar because, despite his injuries, he's still been able to play competitively, I guess.
Yeah, I think for me it'd probably be Sean Bay's one of my favorite skillers because he balances real life and playing a lot, and my friend for 3 years. And then second, I'd have to probably say Omar as well because he's been my friend for just as long, and he's also like right there with Sean. And third, I'd probably say Harry because I always have a good time talking to him in TeamSpeak, and we have similar goals and mindsets.
For me, I would say my top 3 would be one of them. Honestly, like my classification of my favorite skillers is kind of like different from others, but like Randalicious, I would say, is one of my favorites just because of like the intelligence that went into like his overall strategy towards the game, like from day one. Like he started off with the Bibles, did them extremely cheap, also abused the money making method the entire time, and then is able to like be able to do all the skills down the road at a much quicker rate, which I think is like one of the smartest routes to go in terms of macro efficiency. So I have a lot of respect for that. Then obviously there's Ardinho. He's a fucking beast. Obviously very consistent HP gains, very efficient, micro efficient, macro efficient, everything. And then number 3, who do I want to say for number 3? Oh yeah, AJ. AJ, the stuff he does is incredible, how he balances IRL and in-game, and I still don't know how he does it, how he's able to put in the weeks he puts in while having a kid, and I believe he works and goes to school, and it's just absolutely insane. So he was definitely on my top 3 list.
There's so many people left out, but yeah, it's hard with 3.
Yeah. Like, you could just list the entire top page if you wanted to, but...
Yeah.
For me, it's Omar, because Omar is the reason that I even got into Omnia, and he's a really chill, consistent dude. Then I have to say Ardino, because, man, you pull some crazy shit weeks. Your EHP is also top, man. Really nice. And then I have to say God Tormentor. I had some good laughs with him when we were going for our 200 mil Slayer and Magic. He also had his injury with his back, and he still had some good weeks, and he is back now, so that's nice. It's a really good player, and he will get in the top page eventually. I'm sure of it.
So for me, Lynx Titan, AJ, and Vior.
Oh yeah, Vior as well. Vior's up there as well for me.
Yeah,
I don't know how he does what he does, where it's just like gets banned, comes back, full motivation. It's just insane to me. Like, I could never do that.
Yeah, and he's top 50 HP again, and keeps climbing the ranks.
Just keeps proving himself over and over and over again. It's insane. Alright, so what is the general conciseness of Volcanic Mind? Do you think it's balanced? Do you think it's OP? Should be nerfed? Should be buffed? What do you think?
I think quite fine at the moment. It's not like ridiculously OP like it used to be, but I still think that it's a bit too much XP per hour considering the effort required, but it's not like I don't really have a huge issue with it.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Like, maybe if it was 5k less, like, I don't know, 80k long term versus 85, but that's really not a big deal. And they nerfed it, so I'm happy with where it's at now.
Yeah, I think it's completely fine at the moment. Good for crippled people like Omar.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, for me, I think it's a very balanced piece of content. I mean, they already nerfed it, so I think the XP rates are acceptable. And it's actually a very valid alternative for people that are unable or simply don't want to do like quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
before the nerf. No, go ahead.
For me personally, whenever I decide to go for 200 mil mining, I will certainly do it.
Yeah, me too. Before the nerf, it was way too OP, but I think it's pretty balanced now at the moment. I have no issues with it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty balanced as well. My plans right now is to do Volcanic mine, but by the time I do mining, I think there will be a new piece of content, since I probably would save it for like my last 200 mil if I were to get 200 mil all. So I'm definitely saving that for last, because I just can't see myself doing 4G at all. Alright, so how do you balance your time between work, RS, and family and friends?
You don't. Next question, please.
Well, for me, I would say that I have a very good balance. I do have a full-time job, so I am only able to play RuneScape when I can give it full attention. I'm also in a relationship, so I have to always allocate some time for that. And sometimes I even have to take like a week break or something whenever I have to go travel. As far as family goes, I currently live about 1,000 miles away from them, and I only visit them like once in 2 months for like a week. So whenever I'm there, I play a lot less, but it's only a week, like every 2 months or so.
I'm currently in university, so I got quite a bit of time most of the time, and if I sacrifice something, it's probably gonna be friends and family, not the schoolwork. So yeah.
For me, it's like I work full time, so I just go to work and then come home and play as much as I can, and usually I sacrifice sleep if I am like behind on where I want to be, which is probably not a good idea, but hey.
For me, the number one factor I would say in being able to balance them is just zero time methods, to be honest, because I go to school full time, I work part time, and I don't have like a whole lot of free time at the moment. So the only way I'm really able to compete and keep up with other people is by being able to do Nightmare Zone on my phone, Redwoods on my phone, and like nights and stuff like that. So that's like one of the ways I'm able to keep my gains up while balancing those, and just always keep in mind that like your priority is always IRL, and that you should make sure that you're doing well in all your IRL stuff before you go hard in RS. And eventually, like when you like get everything synced up and you get the right balance of everything, it's just a really good feeling of like you're excelling in all aspects of IRL and also in game, where you're not spending too much time at each. And like back in like high school, like over the summer when I would have like unlimited free time, like for me, I never really enjoyed having that much free time. I always got very bored playing RS all the time, and like for me, I always prefer some kind of balance between like at least school and RS or work in RS.
For me, I work night shifts, so that means I work 7 days and then I'm 7 days off, so it gives me a lot of time to play. Besides that, I don't have many hobbies. I work out like 4 or 5 times a week, so that's not too much. If I spend time with friends, I always bring my laptop and I'm playing RuneScape, so...
Yep. All right, and what are your thoughts on the new death mechanics survey?
I think it's a bit pointless, to be honest. People don't want the old deck mechanics, or the really old death mechanics, I guess. Nothing will change, so.
Because if they change them back, people are just gonna start DDoSing like crazy again. So I just don't see it happening.
I like the idea that they proposed, though.
Well, I think that there needs to be an associated risk with dying in the game. I don't think that they can simply go back to the old 2-minute timer, because we know all the issues with the DDoSing and the lags and all that. But something like what they did with Vorkath and the Gargoyle boss seems to be a good alternative. Maybe they would even like expand on that by making it more expensive to retrieve your items based on your KC, because if you are more experienced, then you should die less. Or having the cost decreased, like by doing something really hard, like having, I don't know. But I think it's a good thing that they are trying to fix it somehow.
Yeah, for me, I really like the way death is right now. Like how you have an hour to get your stuff back. I think it's obviously not the most balanced thing in the world, but it's definitely something that it makes like PVM a whole lot stressful for a lot of people, and Slayer as well, not having to really rush back to get your stuff. Altscape as well, like the amount of times where I die on my Rune Drag alt and I like don't go back for another 10 minutes or something.
I die like 10 times a day at Rune Dragons.
Yeah, so like
it's bad.
It's definitely really, really helpful right now, I would say. And fun fact, like at the beginning of Old School when I started playing, I was working towards the God Wars Dungeon requirements because that was going to be released in a few months, and I was chinning at the Apatal 1 caves, or not the Apatal 1, the Monkey Madness 1 caves, and I was a dumbass and I brought all my chins with me from like to get to like 90 something range, and I ended up dying and lost all my chins and all my void because I didn't get back there in time, and it was just a horrible experience, and I ended up quitting because of that. So like I feel like the newer players as well, like you're gonna have more people quitting because they die and lose their bank essentially. And there is the argument that, like, oh, you shouldn't bring what you don't want to risk, but at the same time, it's like if you're doing a boss, you're going to want to, if you can afford the best in slot gear, you're going to want to bring the best in slot gear, because what else are you going to use that for? All right. And what and when is going to be your next 200 mil skill?
For me, it's Servler in about a month from now, maybe less.
For me, it's gonna be mining in 3 weeks, and then after that, I don't really know.
I have no idea what's gonna be my next 200 mil. I'm just doing ropes and making money at the moment. Probably gonna be a decision between crafting and fishing. So either one of those.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a 200 mil in a very long time, and I probably won't get one for a while. I'll be finishing up fletching in August. Besides that, I mean, fire making I'm going to finish up, but I won't be getting 200 mil. Room crafting will take a very, very long time if I were to pursue 200 mil. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, for me it's crafting. Not quite sure when, but it depends on a few things. But yeah, definitely crafting.
For me, it will be thieving in like 2 months or 6 to 7 weeks.
Also, thieving is something since knights are getting nerfed, I could pick up some plunder at some point when I get bored, because I love that.
Oh yeah, you could duel with me then.
Hell yeah. That's a very quick 200 mil as well, so it wouldn't take long to get that.
I'd probably hop on the train if everyone started doing that, and I had people to do it with.
Yeah, back when I was doing plunder for like a month, we had like everybody was doing plunder. It was a lot of fun. With like the more people you have, the better it is. Like sometimes we'd have 2 teams running in 2 different worlds, and we'd go in the PvP worlds, and there'd be like these bots every now and then that would crash you, and you had to clear them. and one of the guys plundering with us brought a alt to come kill the bots, but the bots would retaliate, and they actually killed his alt. It was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, I brought my alt once and couldn't kill them, so it felt pretty bad.
Can you not kill them with the mummy anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like they would loot
it.
the mummy every time. That's like one of the things that would be the most annoying.
Oh yeah, but I
And
don't
they
think it affects you anymore.
Oh, okay. Alright, and what kind of alts are you currently playing, or do you plan to be playing in the future?
It's a secret. Well, I guess I already said it. I'm playing Rune Dragon alts, and I will be playing them like for a pretty long time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm playing at the moment 2 Rune Dragonauts when doing Arduino roofs.
Right now with lavas for me, right now I'm not really playing any alts because I'm kind of burnt to them, and I don't really need to make the money for them. But every now and then I play my Rune Dragon alt. I got one, and I was in the process of making a second. I have all the skill requirements done, but I still got to do the quest, and I don't really want a quest.
Oh, for me it's just a Zora alt.
I have one Wyvern Ducks that I might turn into a Zora account, not sure yet.
Alright, and do you think there will be less people joining the HLC with the HLC getting harder to get into, you know, increased DHP, like increased clan requirements, etc.?
I don't think so. I don't think so, to be honest. Like, if I would look at it like a personal over here, for me personally, it would not demotivate me. If anything, it would motivate me even more to get into it, because it's harder to get, so you can be more proud if you achieve it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For me, I could see it taking like people longer to get into the HLC, because I know like when I joined a skilling clan, it motivated me to play more. So the fact that it would take longer for you to be able to get into that skilling clan initially could affect how long it takes people to get into it.
I agree with that. I don't necessarily think it's going to be like harder. It's just going to take longer, and if you were like doing big months or whatever, and probably get an exception as a smiley and be part of the clan before you're really a part of the clan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and the methods are always gonna be getting faster as time goes by, so it'll be not as hard as it may seem.
Yeah, more AFK methods.
Yeah.
Another thing is, like, there's always, like, back in the day, like, the mentality in the skilling scene was always more, like more AFK, and it's not nearly as tense as it is now, today. But, like I said before, you do have those AFK alternatives that a lot of people will be doing. And there's so many people out there with, like, tons and tons of free time, where they're able to just play a shitload AFK the entire time and make a lot of progress as well with that. Alright. Do you think Tournament Worlds should become a permanent addition to OSRS? Or do you think they should be gone altogether, or just keep at what they've been doing now, where they're like a seasonal thing?
Definitely not permanent. I mean, that's some private server shit right there.
Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. I don't like them at all. You can just get anything you want in there right away.
Yeah, free practicing shouldn't be a thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that people should have to actually PK, because what most people PK for, at least from my interpretation, is like most of them do it for fun. Like, they don't really do it for money, because like there's not really a whole lot of money in PKing, and there's not a whole lot of like high risk fights, to my knowledge at least. So like when people do it, they're mainly doing it for fun. So why not just avoid all the effort and avoid all the like annoyance of having to re-gear and stuff like that, and just do it on a tournament world instead. So I think that they should not really be a thing. I think what they have going now is fine, but definitely not a permanent addition.
And like, when are they active? I thought they were like almost always like going.
I think they center it around the Dead Man final, like before, a week before, a week after, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, like right now I think they're gone, and they were in the game maybe like a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
I had a bit of fun on the servers for like a few days where me and one of my buddies were doing some obby mauler fights, which is actually, it's kind of interesting, like the mechanics behind it. I found it pretty enjoyable.
Can you like change your stats in there to whatever you want?
Yep. So we would do like 99, like pretty much max obby mauler stats with like the max obby mauler gear you could get realistically. Alright, do you think it's a good or bad thing that many players feel compelled to gain X amount of XP per day or HP per day?
I personally do it myself, and I think it's a really good thing. Like, it depends how much free time I have. If I have like less free time, I won't be stressing out too much how much EHP I get. But if I have like 10 hours of free time and I get 5 EHP, then I'm probably gonna feel pretty bad about it. But yeah, it motivates me at least.
Yeah, if they are compelled to gain XP or EHP, it means that they are still motivated. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it really depends on whether you have a goal or not. I mean, if you have a goal, gaining EHP shouldn't be like a chore or something. So as long as you keep yourself motivated, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it just depends on your attitude towards the game. Like, if you care or if you don't really care. If you care, though, you'll have goals and you'll be motivated to gain that XP, whatever your goals are.
Yeah, what I think is a bad thing, it's when people are still trying to put in consistent gains, but then they keep saying that they're burnt. I mean, if you are burnt, you probably should take a break. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, if you're really burnt, you're not playing the game. Like,
Yeah.
or you're playing very little at least. So, but I don't know. Like, this is pretty funny coming from me, but you shouldn't really feel like obliged to play the game, or because it's a fucking game.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an obligation for sure.
Yeah, that's true. If it starts feeling like an obligation, that's not healthy anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, I use CML to see, like, I'd like to get around 50 HP a week because that's what I've been doing for years when it comes to like non-Nightmare Zone, just getting 50 hours a week on the computer. And I feel like that's like a good amount for me. I don't really ever try to push myself too much harder than that unless I have more free time. And then I just try not to get it too far below that as well. Alright, so what would your advice be to players who are on the threshold of joining a skilling clan or pursuing to join a skilling clan?
Well, if you have a lot of free time, just try to zero time it, like Fun Zone or whatever, because it adds up. And just try and be as consistent as you can. Make sure you enjoy the game.
I would say just be very incremental with your like advances in skilling. Like, don't try to take on the whole world at once, but like one addition I think a lot of players should implement is just doing Nightmare Zone on their phone. Just start off with that, and then you start getting into the mentality where you want to be logged in as much as possible. So from there, you're going to start playing a bit more on the PC as well. And then from there, you can start implementing other things like maybe furthering it and doing like redwoods at some parts on your phone. Then you can also try to start, instead of 5 ticking barb, you start 3 ticking barb, and just like slowly and steadily like getting better and better as a skiller, and not try to like do it all at once. Because I've seen so many people that like play shitloads out of nowhere, and they are doing all these efficient methods, and then they just burn out of nowhere because there's just too much for them all to do at once. It's all about consistency, and not. You can be a very inefficient, consistent player, and that will always beat a player that is not consistent and very efficient.
I would say if someone is on like the threshold of joining a skilling clan, just get the smiley, and it will motivate you to skill more and start the phone zone, whatever. And I would also just pick your favorite skill or whatever, and just start doing it and enjoy it, and see if skilling is for you.
Yeah, you'll last the longest if you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'd say also try to interact with some of the people in that clan you're looking to join, because if you don't end up liking the people, that's kind of stupid if you join that clan. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Do methods that you find enjoyable, but although I do think that you should give at least give a go to methods that you might think are like really cancer, like 4G or something. And if you don't enjoy them, don't do them. Do like volcanic mine and shit.
Yeah.
But just try to be efficient at least. If you can't be efficient, then fair enough. But
Yeah, and also some advice when picking what skilling clan you want to join. Like, I would always advise, like, you join a skilling clan with a similar mentality to yourself. Like, if you intend on being a long-term skiller but you don't want to be efficient, you want to be a very casual player, then pick a clan that's more geared towards that kind of mindset. And same goes for if you aspire to be a really efficient player and a really, productive player, join a clan that has that kind of mindset. And if you have any friends in any of the skilling clans, I found that joining a clan that you have friends in is the best option and probably overweighs anything else. Like even the mindset is just having people around you that you like talking to and you're friends with. I think that's the most important factor when joining a clan.
Yeah, just being in one is huge motivation for most people, I can assume. Even if you don't have the official requirements, the smiley is good enough.
Yep. Alright, what are your thoughts on the dual arena tax? Do you think we should remove the dual arena altogether, not have the tax, or implement the tax, or any kind of other suggestions you have about that?
Well, I personally don't care that much about it because I don't usually stay, so it doesn't really make a difference to me.
I think it's a great gold sink in the game.
Yeah,
like
mean,
right
in terms
now,
of gold sink, yeah.
Yeah, and right now, like, staking is like you're not technically supposed to lose money or win money at staking because it is a 50-50, assuming you're doing like regular staking. So like in theory you're not really losing money by doing it, but obviously that's not the case. But when you implement this tax, it's inherently you're losing money every single time you stake. The more you stake, the more you lose, because it's no matter what, you cannot avoid that tax, and as long as you're doing 50-50 stakes, you'll always be losing money. So I think that'll be a beneficial thing for not only the game and just the GP sync, but also it will encourage other people not to be staking at all, because long term they're just going to be throwing their money in the gutter.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to tax great gold sink, but I do think that the arena should just go, because it promotes gambling and also real world trading, and tax doesn't really change those two things. So I don't like the arena.
I've never been at the arena and I probably never will. So tax it like however much you want. I don't care.
Yeah, sure.
I don't stake that much, but it surely says like a lot of our WT comes from the dual arena, so it would be better if it gets removed altogether. But I think this tax is a nice start. It's a nice start, and also indeed a great gold sink.
But in the end, like, people always want to gamble, so they find their own ways, even if it's against the rules. So there's
Yeah,
more
exactly.
moderation to be done for the mods.
I think it's a good idea to tax, but I don't know if removing it would be the best idea, like, for the player base, even though it is like a lot of real world trade there. But
A lot of people enjoy it, so
yeah, like I feel like you'd lose a lot of your customers if you just fucking
indeed.
removed it.
Yeah, but with removing it, like somebody else said, like, you're not ever gonna avoid gambling altogether. Like, just making it illegal won't do anything. It would definitely reduce like the amount of people doing it and like how widespread it is, but people will still do it through like sketchier methods. And I kind of like that there is like a safe way to gamble, and it's not like rigged against you. But I guess it will be rigged against you after this tax, but it's better than alternatives, I think.
But at least like now the house is winning a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the Tamers probably wouldn't care about the illegal gambling afterwards anyway. So I don't know. Keep it.
I think it's a like give and take there. Like you leave it in the game, but you also are taxing those people that decide to do it. I don't know.
It's a 1% tax per person, right? Not in total.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, like especially like the people that just sit there all day, that will be huge. Or it's just they'd be sinking money into the game, sinking money out of the game all day. It'd be great. All right, and let's see. What are your thoughts about raids 2 and the rewards? Do you think they should be better or worse, or what are your thoughts? I'm looking forward to a lot of the awards that come from that. I mean, like, I'm not really too against like devaluation of stuff, so anything that really makes Slayer faster, I tend to like because I'm saving Slayer until it gets faster.
Yeah, same. I mean, like the Rapier, for example, that's pretty fucking OP, but whatever. I like it.
Are they actually gonna be pink, or is it just placeholder?
No, it's a placeholder.
Oh, okay. Shame.
Yeah, I definitely missed the Rapier from like pre-UFC. Like, I just love the animation, just the way you hold it, and just it's such a like sick weapon in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I would love to see that one as like best in slot melee weapon as well.
Yeah,
Instead of the whip.
I'm shocked that the whip has lasted this long as best in slot melee. Like, obviously there's some exceptions, but overall it's whip's the most universal thing since the beginning.
I definitely think it's time for a new BIS there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
And make it rare. So
Yeah,
it's
make it
actually
very
gonna be
rare.
expensive.
Yeah.
T-bow rare.
It's also gonna be great content to watch on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because they're gonna make it like so you can't really solo it. I think like it has to be a team. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
I
it
think
was.
they're going to make it very hard for people to solo it.
Yeah. I saw
Oh.
what Mod tweet at.
And you guys think you'll be trying it out on your main at all or on your alts at any point just to see how it is?
Probably on my ult, to be honest, because on my main it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might
definitely
try
not
it
on
out.
my main.
I'll definitely try it out.
I never do a single raid in my life.
Yeah, I've
If it's
no.
good on ult, then yeah, maybe.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no plans to try it out at all. I'll probably watch some streams of it. Maybe down the road if I get really fucking burnt, I'll do it on my ult at some point, but that's about it. Alright, and what kind of EHP... this is also the last question, guys. So if you have any questions in the chat that you'd like to have us answer, just feel free to post those now. So last question here is going to be, what kind of EHP would it take for you to make an exception in accepting a lower level EHP member? This is mainly targeted towards Ardino and I.
Like, at least, it's difficult to, like, say an exact number or anything.
Yeah.
And it also depends on what they're doing in game. If they're, like, doing knights or NMZ or stuff, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely that. I think we do tend to value, like, their current progress more than their, like, consistency. Like, because there's definitely been a lot of people that I've looked at where their graph, like, they just started playing them again a month ago and they're making a lot of gains. And even then, we'll make an exception for you if you're making good gains in, like, the short term. Obviously now with the rank changes, it'll be harder to just start playing again. You know, get the Rex for Somali or recruit or whatever. That's the kind of stuff we look for, though. Alright, and Arabask, what's the next big burnout?
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
gonna have to check lists.
I have no idea either.
My in real life friends are hoping that it's me, so I can continue to play Fortnite with them.
Actually, I would say I would say DMP is the next big burnout.
No, I don't think so. He quit his
Whoa.
job. I don't think so. He recently quit his job. He's putting in some big days at the moment. While
What's
streaming,
his
so
EHP week?
oh, I have no clue to be
Probably
honest.
on like a 50,
I'll look him up.
maybe 60 at most.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let's update this. It's 45. No,
Ooh.
54. 54. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
56 even. Once I updated it. Oh, it's not bad.
Big?
Yeah, shout out to 50 week needs.
I'm gonna say next big burnout is gonna be Z-Rax, but that's just because he has to go back to work.
Yeah, that's gonna happen for sure.
I don't know if that's
Rep
really burning
Z-Rax.
out, but
Yeah, it's a seasonal burnout.
yeah.
Alright guys, any final questions at all? Anything else you guys want to say to the chat stream? Alright, so that's going to conclude the third Omnia Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. This will be available on YouTube either later today or early on tomorrow. For the May Madness comp, the Google form is right in the chat there if you guys want to sign up later on or whenever you get a team of 3 and if you have any suggestions towards optimizing that layout. So that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks everybody else for being on the podcast, and we'll see you in probably like I would say like a month and a half, 2 months time for the Omnia Podcast number 4. See ya.
Bye bye. Thank
Yeah.
you.
See ya.
Shout out
Shout
to
outs.
Sean, boys.
Bye.
Omnia is the best.